Welcome to the Be Amazing podcast, where bold ideas, inspiring stories, and innovations come together to shape the future of wellness in multifamily living. I'm your host, Seal Smart. I'm a fitness expert, fitness facility designer, and advocate to bring wellness to every community. Each week, I sit down with industry leaders, creative visionaries, and game changers who are raising the bar in fitness, design, and real estate. Together, we explore what it truly means to be amazing, not just in business, but in life, in the spaces we create and the communities we serve. Now let's jump in. Hi everyone, I am excited because I'm sitting here with Jon Lowder. He's the Executive Director of AANC, which is why we're here, and at this conference Connected, and it's such an honor to be part of this and capturing fun interviews with people throughout multifamily. So I want to know a little bit about, how did you get started in multifamily?
Like everybody else, I kind of fell into it. So back in 2009, I'd been self-employed, and I did trade shows and did a lot of stuff with nonprofits, just support stuff. And my kids were getting ready to go to college. I need the economy was not looking great. And I was like, I might need a job. And I saw the job at the Piedmont Triad Apartment Association, which then was just called the Triad Apartment Association. That was in 2009, and took the job, loved it from day one. I had no knowledge other than having lived in apartments in the 80s. I had no knowledge of the industry and had to learn on the job. But they hired me because I had association experience, and that was 16 years ago now. And here we are.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't know anything about the apartment association or apartment industry when I started, and now have fallen in love with it. I've been in it 10 years, and I love being a part of the community. What for you is the most rewarding part of what you do with the association work?
Well, I really enjoy. I mean, it's hard to pick one. Moving from PTA to AANC. I'm doing a lot more policy work now. Mm-hmm. So we're doing a lot of work on the regulatory side, a lot of work at the legislature, and I love the impact of that, because I know, having worked at the local level, I know what that does for our members at the local level. What I miss about the local association work is, we're here at Connected, and all the members are here. We have 700 and something members here, and getting to interact with them. At the state level, you don't have as much interaction directly with the members, because the local associations are our members for the most part. So I kind of miss that part a little bit. I truly enjoy visiting all the associations around the state, going to their trade shows, going to their awards dinners, installing their boards, whatever they ask me to do. I truly love it. So impact-wise, the legislative and regulatory work. Fun-wise, it's like just getting out there and meeting people and hearing their stories.
Well, and it's so important what you're doing right now. I just got involved with government affairs, and I when I first came on, I'm just sitting quiet, kind of taking everything in and realizing I'm just kind of not really sure what's where I fit or how I'm going to help or, how I'm going to be involved, but just being aware of what's going on, seeing what's happening, and how the important role that the association plays is huge.
Oh, it is. It's a big deal. The way I look at it is this: any individual company, they could hire a lobbyist. They could go out and and sometimes they do. They have an issue that's really specific to them. In the rare occasion, they'll go out and get their own lobbyist. But it's very hard for them to do that because, number one, at the local level, if you go into city council and you're trying to get property rezoned so you can build a multifamily project, and you tick everybody off, trying to get that project through, the next project might be tough. As an industry, the association represents the entire industry, so we can go in there and we can speak on behalf of not 350 households, units, but 500,000 households. Our members do, they do one of the most fundamental things that our society can do, and that is provide housing. And we have to make sure that their interests are represented and that they are enabled to do what they can do well. And there's nobody else in the world that can do what they can do. So it is very important that we represent them and we do it well.
Now, as far as messaging, for people that rent apartments, because a lot of times they have a view of what,
Sure.
apartment world or multifamily world, which a lot of people don't even know really exists, and it's huge. But what's the message that you would like to see conveyed, or when we talk about multifamily, we talk about the apartment associations? Is there like something that you're looking from a positive side to really be promoted and shared?
Sure. So there's a few things. There are a lot of misconceptions about apartments. Number one, apartments, especially Class A, newly built, newly constructed apartments, are not what people my age grew up with. Right? We didn't have the weight room in my apartment building in 1985 was in the boiler room, and it was an old Universal machine, and you couldn't do a pull up because the pipes are right above. Now you have gyms with, as you know,
right?
You have gyms. Yeah, they do. I mean, they're better than any commercial gym at a Y or anywhere else. So you have that aspect where you have the public. A lot of times when we go in and try to convince a city they need more multifamily, they are thinking of something that isn't even built anymore. The other thing we deal with is that there's this misconception that renters are somehow not as good as homeowners. And it's weird because, when you think about what renters are, just people who have decided not to own. And for a lot of people think it's because they can't own a home. But frankly, many people choose to live in multifamily. They prefer it. They don't need 3 bedrooms. They don't need a yard. They don't want a yard. They don't want to be responsible for the upkeep of their home. They want to be able to call a number and say, "Hey, my AC broke down. Fix it." Mm-hmm. Right? They want that flexibility. In a lot of ways, right now there's a huge gulf between the cost of home ownership and the cost of renting. So it's a very cost-effective way to live. We have people getting married much later in life. We have people deciding not to have children at all, or having children much later in life. So they are living in apartments longer than they ever have before. So again, in the 80s, your average apartment renter, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but they were probably in their 20s. Mm-hmm. Now they're in their 30s. So there are a lot of misconceptions out there that we try to counteract, so that people, first of all, renters are people too. Mm-hmm. They deserve the same representation and respect that anybody else does. They are not, they're thought of as transient, not bought into the community. Many times they might be transient from one apartment community to another, but they stay in the community and they are involved in the community. Their kids go to school. If they have kids, they are involved. They serve on local boards. They serve on in elected positions. So, that's the message we have to get out there, is that this industry provides a way of living, an alternative to the quarter acre 3-bedroom house that you have to mow every weekend. Now you can go home, close your door, go to sleep, wake up, go out, do what you want to do, come back. You don't have any chores, other than maybe dusting and cleaning your own unit. So that's the kind of messaging we try to get out.
Yeah, and there's so much truth in that, because I know my husband and I laugh with some of the communities that outfit and design gyms for. It's like we go there and we're like, why are we living in our house? Like, why are we not living here?
Right.
Like, he didn't have to do the yard anymore. Like, it would just be super easy. You pick up the phone and call somebody to come fix it if it needs to be fixed. So with Connected, with all of us being here, what is your hope for all of us that are attending and being involved here? What's for you and for this conference? What do you hope most for?
A couple of things. Number one, that they come back next year. That they learn, but honestly, they learned something they didn't know. I like. Connected is a new branding for the conference. I really like what our education committee came up with that, because it conveys a message, right? Mm-hmm. And I hope that they build connections within the industry outside of their current group of friends and colleagues and acquaintances, so that they make connections across the state, not just in their market. I think when you do that, you enable people to share information. You enable people to grow their own careers. I would love to see everybody that's here this time next year be even happier and feeling more successful and more fulfilled than they were this year, and to continue and to help with that trajectory in their careers. Listen, I'm approaching retirement age, and it's a ton of fun being around 700 people who are way younger than me, and seeing the energy and seeing the possibilities and seeing their desire to keep growing and learning, and that's what we're here for.
Well, I've lived it, being here, being a part of it, being a part of AANC this year. I've gotten really involved, very involved with PTAA and GCAA, and it's been honored. I was chosen as one of the 20 on the Rise this year, which is such an honor, and I just look forward to just continuing on. But the biggest part for me every time we come here is the connection, and it's taking time. And I've gotten to know so many people, and I have mentors throughout this industry that have been that for me for years and continue to be that. So thank you for all that you all do to like create the space.
Well, thank you for getting that involved. And I will say that's the key. We, over the years, dealing with the different members at the local and state level, you see a lot of people come through the door. They think they pay their dues, and on the supplier side in particular, like, I pay my dues, now I'm going to get a lot of business out of it. And we try really hard to get the message across that if we're playing a poker game, that's the ante. You just got into the game. Now you have to play your hand, and playing your hand is getting involved. And our property management companies notice the suppliers who support the industry. And it's not just through sponsoring things, it's through getting involved in government affairs, it's through volunteering on the education committee, because you guys bring an expertise as well, and you guys bring a point of view, and quite frankly, you are out in the market and seeing what the entire market looks like, while they are kind of in their own silo, and they're doing their own thing. And so you guys bring a lot of value. But a lot of people come through the door that don't understand that. They think they just need to pay the dues. So thank you for getting as involved as you've gotten involved.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Well, I am. I'm glad to be here. And it's true. I think just from being a supplier and being in the industry, it's about showing up. It's about, and not just showing up here and there, but really getting involved and making the time and giving back and being willing to listen and finding people to connect with on whether it's in government affairs or whether it's education or wherever your fit is. That is what has created so much for me business-wise without even trying.
Right.
It's just being connected with everyone and working towards the same goal, and that's here with Multifamily and creating like this amazing community.
People work with people they know and like.
Yep.
You know, that we're human beings, right?
Yeah.
During COVID, I think people thought, wait, maybe we'll never have to all be in the same place again. We absolutely do. You don't reverse hundreds of thousands of years of evolution in 1 year. You know, connection is what everybody thrives on. So the more you can do, the better off you'll be.
100%. I totally agree with that. That's why we're here, and that's why I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking time.
Thanks for having me.
I can't wait to drop this. Like, Jon Lowder in the house.
Right. 2 views.
All right, so Chiccorra's in the house. I'm so excited. Like, if you can't tell already. But I met you. It's been 10 years, which is it's crazy to me that it's been 10 years since I started.
I know. I saw her as an infant.
You did. I knew nothing. I didn't know anything about multifamily. Zero. Nothing.
And look at you now.
I know. I've come so far.
Look, what is it? Like, what are you in the class for now?
Oh, 20 on the Rise.
Look, give it up. There you go. From an infant state. Okay? That's what's up.
But I've had great people in my life like yourself to not only to connect with, but to learn from. You have always been a badass. You are still a badass. I mean, from day one, your confidence, the way, and especially being a supplier in the industry. And you are strong, and you are such an example and a light. So
Thank
it is.
You. I want to put you in my pocket and just take you home.
Well, it's true, and we haven't seen each other because you've been I feel like all over, all over the world.
Yeah,
should I say that?
Yeah, I've been kind of.
So
everywhere.
share with everyone a little bit just give us a little bit about who you are.
I'm that chick. No, but I kind of encompass all things, so I'm a mother, I'm a wife to an entrepreneur, you know how that is, so life is crazy. I'm a grandmother, so that's crazy. I know.
Hot grandma.
Well, I'll take it. But I love the industry. I do a lot within multifamily. When you and I met, I was just on as a supplier with Occupancy Heroes, and we travel nationwide, increasing occupancy rates and all those different things. So full total package with the staffing, maintenance, and all that. And then we kind of grew. And so now we also have got other businesses within multifamily and outside of multifamily. I'm an investor. Let's see, I'm a developer. I've got a lot of projects going on. We have about 1,000 units now. Yay.
Woohoo! That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's like in the States and international. So I'm super excited about that. I was just in Africa. We're building apartments over there. And we just got a lot going on. We got a lot going on. So total solution. We do everything. So housing, we do single family, we do multifamily. Me personally, I do a lot of mentorship, all those different things. Of course, I'm a speaker, so I travel a lot. I'm like all over the place.
Like literally, like when you said Africa, and I'm like, wait, hold up, what? Like, that's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you, and like, because I know you're speaking. What are you doing here at AANC this round? Like, what are you speaking on?
We're focused on maintenance, but not just maintenance. All of those who are, want to support maintenance and want to become a team. So wholeheartedly. So we're talking about using tech as your toolbox right now. So we're not saying, hey, do away with the hands-on, because that is necessary. But all those things that are going to propel you and get you to the next step, because life is changing, right? Life is changing. And so we've got to keep up with the modern day times. And that's what we're here to do today. And we're going to make it fun. We're going to have prizes and all those different things. So, yeah. Well, I'm huge on maintenance too, by the way. Okay.
Well, they're very important. I was just talking to Christy, and she was talking about education, and she's been really focused on educating maintenance and providing them with those tools. So this is just like a whole other thing, like teaching them about tech and how to use it.
Absolutely. I love it. So I am most definitely focused on maintenance. I tell you, I learned to love them so many years ago, but we've got a training school where we do the training certifications and we employ them. And so we also have a federally recognized apprenticeship program that I'm super excited about. So 2019, we have trained, certified, and employed thousands. Okay, I lost count, but we've done thousands. And so now we're focusing more on tech to get them prepared for that too.
That is so cool. I mean, what are you not doing?
Sleeping.
All day, keeping up with all the things, and now you're speaking. So are you speaking at all different associations? Or are you speaking at things outside of associations?
Oh yeah, I speak at banks. I speak with various associations, hotel associations. I literally just came in from TAA1. Once I leave here, I'll be speaking with Chase Bank. We got a lot going on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, you got to diversify yourself.
Yeah.
I love multifamily. Don't get it twisted. Love it. Okay. But we do so many different things. And within multifamily, I mean, we've got so many different skills, right?
Yeah.
So share it with the world. Bring others along with you. So.
Now, because I want to go back a little bit, what did you have all this envisioned when you started, or did it just kind of evolve?
Well, I'll say it more than evolved. It's about growth and, just sitting down, how are you going to scale and what's your passion? Because you just got to stay like in love with what you're doing. And that's what I did. So I was born and raised in real estate, and multifamily, absolutely love it. But I love the single family. I love teaching and training. I love mentorship. I am in love with maintenance. All those things. I love travel. And I love people. We got to give back. So yeah, it was just, how can we help?
Well, so from here, what do you envision for yourself, like in the future? Where do you see things going? Like maybe in the next year or 2 years?
Just growth. We continue to grow. We are continuing to expand our footprint. I am hoping to do more international things. So we got a lot going on.
Do you have somewhere you want to go? Is there somewhere and like that you have a desire to be, that you're expecting to like we're going to go there. We're going to be there at some point.
Yeah. Well, I've made a few trips to Africa, and I think that's where I'm going to land. We do a lot there. We do a lot of good, and so I love that. And so being able to, saturate the states here and then focus on that, we've been able to help a lot of people, and I like that.
That's awesome. You talk about giving back. Is there, I know you probably you'll give back through what you do with teaching and training, but is there another part of it as far as community wise that you like give back to or that's important to you?
Just the people in general, uplifting our communities. I'm a huge advocate for affordable housing. I'm a huge advocate for entrepreneurship, women in general, diversity, all those different things. So wherever I can pour into something and I can be a helping hand, that's where I am. So, and I do put my money where my mouth is. So they say that's where your heart is, right? Where you pour into. So yeah.
Yeah, you've always been a woman of action since the time I met you. Like that was instant. That was not even a question.
You.
Yeah, and you have stayed true to who you are throughout the 10 years I've known you, and it's amazing. Like I'll see hints of what you're doing when things go on, because we all watch Facebook, right? Just to kind of keep up with each other to what everybody's doing. You don't always get to talk and catch up, but like as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh, we've got to sit down and talk and catch up because there's so much happening. But I so appreciate you taking the time. And is there anything that you would leave with our listeners, like if you wanted to leave anything from your heart or encouragement or inspiration?
Be you. You can't be anybody else but you. If you're true and authentic to yourself, then you will be great. One thing I always say to my baby, you should be able to recognize me no matter where I am. If I'm at home and if I'm at church, am I working, whatever, you should know who your mommy is. So be you, be authentic, and you'll be great.
That's it. Thank you so much for being on with me.
This is awesome. Thank you.
That's great. This podcast is filmed and produced by Be Amazing Media. At Be Amazing Media, we provide video and photography services. We work with groups, we work with individuals, we work with corporate clients. It doesn't matter if it's headshots, if you're wanting to film a commercial to share your story of your business, or you want to bring us in and film an event. We're here for you. You can reach out to us at beamazing-media.com. Hi everyone, I am here with the one and only Bryan Holladay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're here at AANC, and I could not leave here without sitting down with Bryan because I met Bryan 10 years ago. We were just talking about, I wasn't sure what event it was. But man, you do a lot in this industry.
Well, thank you. Yes. So quick background for those who don't know me or may have forgotten about me. I worked for the Greater Charlotte Apartment Association with Ken Szymanski for about 5 years. I did government affairs work with him. He retired in 2019, and I retired with him and started my own company. And it was called CLT Public Relations, and it was focusing on government affairs work in Charlotte. And my first client was the North Carolina Apartment Association doing the government affairs work for the association. They wanted to hire a government affairs person, so I did an interim until they hired someone, and they brought it on. And then I was done with the apartment industry, and as I was leaving, I ran into someone with the Western Carolina Apartment Association, and they're like, hey, do you want to be involved in our association, kind of help us out a little bit? So my parents lived out in Nashville. I'm like, this is great. So then I went and started doing some work with the Western Carolina Apartment Association and helping them out and run their association. And then I got some busy, and I brought on Kim Lawyer, who used to work with AANC and TAA, and she was helping me out. And then the Fayetteville Apartment Association, AE, left, and they needed some help. And so Kim and I are like, well, maybe we can help with the Fayetteville Apartment Association. The next thing you know, we're helping out the Fayetteville Apartment Association, and lo and behold, we're kind of looking around and going, I guess I'm doing association work now.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So we started a small association management company called CLTPR Management, and it's an offshoot of the association work that we do, and we provide supplemental work. So like for the smaller associations, if they need help with like emails or communications or government affairs work, all back of the house stuff, we do that. Because if you think of like Greater Charlotte or TAA, I mean, they have a lot of staff, and then you get to like Wilmington or Myrtle Beach, and they have like one person, and they're expected to do all the same amount of work. Everything's and so it's really hard for one person to do all that work. So what we do is offer like fractional or part-time work for these associations. It's a really long answer to asking me how I'm doing.
But no, it's really important because it gives everybody kind of an overview, because we do see you everywhere. Because I started seeing you pop up and I'm like, Bryan, I haven't talked to Bryan forever. Like, and I remember government affairs, because I think I sat in there a couple times just trying to get a grip on what was happening in Charlotte. And you're such a big personality. Like, when you can't be missed. Like, he's here. And as soon as I saw you yesterday, I was like, oh, we have to sit down and talk for a few minutes. But the work that you've done in the association, what you're continuing to do, the associations are so important. They're so important in the government side of things. I've been learning that more and more in the involvement. For you, like, where did this passion come from?
Well, so I've always been interested in the politics side of government affairs stuff, and this is going to sound terrible because it makes me such a geek. But one of my dream jobs was to go and watch city council meetings and to pay attention to committee meetings. And so when the Charlotte Apartment Association got their first government affairs person, I'm like, that's what I want to do. There's not a lot of work like that, and so I was just apartments were just the subject. The political stuff was the passion, and then somewhere, hanging out with Ken, he got me sucked into this association world and understand the power and the great part about associations and what associations do. And I really became passionate about the association work. And then multifamily, it's kind of everything, because you have housing and construction and you have employment sectors and then all the pieces that support it. And it's just a great industry to be involved in. So I really have a passion for the industry too. So try to leave, but it's kind of keep. You can't.
People leaving, they always come back.
Yes.
They may come back a little bit different.
Yes. So.
But I feel like you're even more involved in such a bigger capacity, and I think you're going to be able to do more the way that you're doing it now versus just being with one.
Yeah, and what we're seeing is so. The world changed after COVID, right?
Yeah.
And so associations' world changed after COVID too. And the things that associations were doing before COVID and the things associations are doing after COVID aren't working, or they're completely different, and trying to refigure out what that next generation of association looks like. And so for the larger associations, it's easier for them because they just kind of plow through. The smaller associations are like, how do we get engagement? How do we do this? How do we reach that next generation? And kind of working through some of that. So we're spending a lot of time kind of reimagining what the association world is going to look like with like the new generation coming in and what that engagement is, because we know that with the old stuff, the model works, but the way that we executed it isn't working anymore. And we had to figure it out. And even in conversations like, what are the roles that suppliers play? What are the roles that asset managers play? What are the roles that ownership plays? What are the roles that management company plays? Everything's changing a little bit, and so that's kind of it's kind of fun to be on the cutting edge and seeing how we can help rework the industry.
Yeah, it's very different. Like, it's very different. Even I would say 6 years ago, like when I first started, you're right. The association ran a certain way. There were certain, you had dinner meetings. You had all these. There were certain things that were done all the time, and then fast forward to where we are now. And it is very different. Yeah. It's very different. Even from like a social side, as like meetings and stuff, it just doesn't, they're not as big as they were. People are moving a lot faster pace. Technology now plays a big role in communication. So, but today, being here connected at AANC, it's fun to see how many people have come, because I feel like we're starting to see that come back, because for a little while it had kind of, it had gone down a good bit as far as people meeting. Everybody gotten so used to being on Zoom. I think everybody's tired of being on Zoom. So it's like, now we're ready to be together in the room. And I feel like we're going to be able to make a bigger impact by having these type of meetings and conversations in person. Yeah,
it's interesting. I mean, like, one of the things that I'm just not afraid to tackle some of the taboo topics too, because like when people talk about it, like the management companies are replicating a lot of the things that the associations used to do, right? And as the association, we just have to acknowledge that and realize that, because they're the members. And like, hey, if they want to do that, they can do that. We need to figure out what you want the association to do and to figure out those pieces, because we follow their lead. We're a membership organization. So that's also an interesting piece, to figure out how to work with the management companies as they're kind of retooling the way they work and taking some of the things that the association used to do. But on that, the biggest thing that associations do, and almost every local apartment association was started around government affairs. And that is something that you kind of do collectively. So the last day of this conference is, lobby day, and we go and we talk about issues and stuff like that. So no matter how the associations change, the government work, the lobbying work, that piece will always be the key focus of the associations.
I feel like that is a key driver. That and then the education side. I feel like those two pieces are just really valuable and important. And I know for me with government affairs, I've just gotten back involved. I've been kind of sitting quiet on the sidelines. So I've been on the calls for AANC Government Affairs because I want to understand more about what's going on in North Carolina, how we all work together to impact that. But what would you say to someone that is in the industry, and because government affairs plays such a big role, but it can be very intimidating?
Well, it's your two favorite words put together. It's the word government and the word affairs. Why do you not want to hang out in a meeting talking about those things? Right? I mean, I don't know. Politics is kind of a mess right now. I don't know if you watch the national news, but and everyone has an opinion, and no one wants to talk about those opinions because it's like it's so taboo and so difficult, and that makes it more. It's hard. It's a bigger barrier to entry on that. But on the stuff that we talk about is industry side. So we're talking about housing and providing housing and making housing more accessible to people. Yeah. And so we're housing providers. We're not housing providers.
Right.
We're housing, part of that. We're housing providers adjacent. Right.
We're part of it.
But we're housing providers, and what we do is provide housing. And that is a huge need, and we want to make those things easier. And so that's what the whole idea of government affairs is working with people thinking hey, this is the solution. And they go, you don't understand what we do. Your solution is creating another problem. Educating those people on how what we do is just try to provide housing, and how what the government is trying to do is provide housing, right? Because everyone wants housing, but how you're actually not allowing us to do what we need to do. So that's just a big piece. So basically a lot of it is identifying problems and figuring out solutions and educating people on what the industry is. So.
And I'll say just from my side, just sitting in on the calls and being aware of what's going on, all the issues that are coming up, the different committees you can get involved with just within government affairs has been very insightful. And so, I mean, if you haven't even you should at least jump on one of the Zoom calls just to kind of see what's going on. You don't even have to say anything at the moment.
No, it's just
great. Be there.
It's a great part to just participate. And really at the end of the day, what we're looking for people to participate is just telling stories and just relaying their background and stuff like that, because all the technical stuff is people that are really into the geeky stuff, they're already there. But the people are kind of going, hey, I feel like this is important. We just need their stories, and then just show up and be in the room.
Well, I thank you so much for taking a few minutes
thanks for
to hang out.
This is great. So
where can they find you, Bryan?
Well, okay, so cltprmanagement.com is my website, and I'm probably on all the socials, so you can probably catch me up there. But it's Holladay, Holladay, if you want to get me on LinkedIn.
Right on.
And so cool. Yeah,
thanks so much. This was great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in to the Be Amazing podcast. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone. Also, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on social, the Be Amazing podcast. Until next time, keep showing up, keep making an impact, and above all, keep being